Hey folks, it's New Year's Eve. I've had 1.5 Moscow mules, and I'm feeling pretty cozy. So that means it's time to just rip all that cozy feeling away by reflecting on 2020. So, I'm going to try not to ramble on forever, but why don't we start with the beginning of the year? This year has been one of the worst years of my life, by far. I'm not going to mince words about that. It was fucking miserable. And I'll tell you why. Some of you know this already, but at the beginning of the year, my father passed away of cancer, unfortunately, and that absolutely brought me to my knees. I've never experienced grief and anguish like that in my life. It was difficult. So, that's how it started. And then about, I want to say a month later, his best friend from college, who had actually reached out to me on Facebook right after my father died, he died at the beginning of February. So I was just like, man. Well, at least now he has someone up there to make fun of him. So, I could put a positive spin on that somehow, some way. But then, at the end of February, I'd say the second hardest hitting death happened, and that was my friend Mark, who I've known, God, damn near a whole decade, I guess. Maybe more like 6 or 7 years or something like that. But I found out about him through collecting 78 RPM records, and he's a fellow YouTuber. If you were into the 78 community, you might have known him as Swingman 1938 or Swingman 1989, and I think his channels are still up now if you want to check out some of the music he posted. It's really good stuff if you like music of that era. It's really fun stuff. He was a great guy. He was a character. He had his opinions, but overall, I really liked him, and I miss him dearly, as I miss my father now too. Definitely left a few holes in my life this year that just haven't been filled and probably will never be filled. So that was just the first 2 months of 2020. Just the first 2 months walloped me across the face and the legs and brought me to my knees. It's just like, Jesus, man. So, right after all that happens, COVID hits. The global pandemic starts. Oh boy, what that's the worst timing possible because I was going through the grieving process at that time. But out of the ashes of this horrible year came something really great. A local friend group decided that we should all join a Discord together and play video games together a couple times a week. And ironically enough, we've been hanging out since COVID started more on there than we ever did in real life, which I think is hilarious. And I can't tell you how much that helped me get through the hell that was 8 or 9 months of 2020. For the first 8 or 9 months, I was not myself. I was not feeling right. By September, I was feeling pretty good, actually. So, what out of all that hell, it was the first 8 or 9 months of this year for me. The thing that I will never take for granted again is friendship. You cannot put a price on friendship. And it helps you through even the worst moments of your life dearly. Just like, and your friends don't even really have to do anything. You just have to hang out like you would normally and just be around people. Even if it's, through a headset or something like that. That still works for me. And it must have worked for the work world too, because we also learned how great video conferencing is. We've been doing it forever, but this year, oh boy, it was crucial. Crucial. And I've experienced that at work. I'm sure a lot of you have too. What a lesson this year has been that staying connected, whether it's face to face or not, is just one of the most important things that we can do as human beings, as social creatures. So, that's been a big thing for me this year is friendship has been crucial to surviving this pandemic. And the funny thing is, in that friend group, I've made another really good friend out of that. And that has been fantastic. I tell you what, I treasure your friendships. Don't take them for granted, really don't. So that was sort of the first 8 or 9 months. Um, and of course, I should go back and mention with my dad's cancer that had been a thing that was going on for years before that. You may have noticed my video output went down around that time. Now you know why. Family life was a little stressful, and I did not have the motivation to make videos. And I've only sort of gotten that motivation back this year. And that comes to, month 9 of this year when I sort of got my sanity back. And I started pumping out videos again. Especially towards, September, October, and into November. And I skipped a month here or there, I think. But, developed new hobbies this year. I got into televisions. I got into CRTs, fixing them up and all that stuff. I'm just getting into that, so it's brand new. So one thing I've learned this year is to find new hobbies to keep your brain occupied so that you aren't sitting going stir crazy in your apartment forever during a pandemic where you should be staying home if you don't want to get sick or you're at risk. And that's been a positive of this year. The other positive of this year is, of course, the friendship thing I've mentioned earlier, how that's become an even closer, more important thing to me personally. The tech world. The tech world this year has been so exciting. We've got the release of Ryzen 5000. We've got B550. Was it B550, was it this year? I think it was. We have the release of Apple Silicon ARM chips. Apple's shaking up the processor market like it's PowerPC or 68K or whatever all over again. RISC is back on the desktop, baby. How cool is that? That's exciting, man. The tech world has got exciting. We also had the release of new GPUs this year, which have just blown me away as far as the performance increase has gone on NVIDIA and AMD. And this time AMD is competing with NVIDIA and delivering really great performance. So no matter what you buy, it's going to be an upgrade. It's exciting, man. I'm not rushing out and buying all this stuff, but it's so cool to watch. And I'm eager to see what happens the beginning of 2021 with CES. I think that's also going to be very exciting. So I have a feeling it's going to be virtual CES, but either way, it's all about the tech. Even if you're not there, I think the tech is still really exciting. So that's been a really good positive of this year, is that the tech world has still been very, very exciting. And that keeps someone like me that's really into that stuff alive. So that's been a real positive of this year. 2020, I like to think of this year, especially with the death of my father. That's probably one of the hardest things that anybody ever has to go through, is death of a parent, death of a loved one. It's difficult. And what this year is one that I call one of those years that life throws at you to build character. And one thing I've definitely felt like this year is that I've kind of grown up a few years in just 12 months. I'm going to be 30 in 2021. I'm getting old, man. 30 is not old, but it certainly feels like it. I can feel myself sort of catching up to it, And, I think I'm going into it gracefully. I'm doing all right. I'm not down on that in any way. But, yeah, years like this really build character and make you grow up fast. And that's sort of what I'm feeling right now. And I wonder if you guys are feeling the same way. I guess we'll see in the comment section. But, yeah, that's been 2020. It's been an exciting year, a chaotic year, and a tragic year in many ways. And what am I thankful for this year out of anything? Survival. I would say survival is the number one thing to be thankful for this year. If you survived 2020, you did pretty well. Even if you're an absolute mess and you're feeling like crap because this year has just trodden you down. I'm not sure if I said that right. Be thankful you survived. I'm thankful for survival. That's, I think, the least. I think that's at the very least something that I can say. So, with that being said, 2020, fuck it. It was a terrible year for all sorts of reasons. And I'm going to choose to be optimistic and say that 2021 will be less shitty of a year. And I think the only way to really make that happen is to have the right attitude. And I'm going to go in there with go into it being optimistic. And I hope that your year is better. I hope that my year is better. And I hope that we can put 2020 behind us. Remember it, but don't dwell on it. Put it behind us and move on. I am ready to do that. So, with that said, Godspeed 2020. Smell you later. So, that's my reflection on 2020. Hopefully 2021 is a much better year. And, yeah, there you have it. I hope everybody has a great New Year's. Drink a few, but be safe. Don't do anything stupid. Survive. If you've survived this long, survive some more. So, with that, I bid ye farewell until next year. Have a good one, everybody. Ciao.